Listen. 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 Some people believe the spirit stays in the body for months after death. It's working! We can bring her back.
Bring her back. Yes, thanks to Regal Mystery Movies and Fudge for being a Regal member, I got to see this movie before its official release next week. This is the latest A24 horror film and the second movie directed by the brother YouTuber duo from Australia, Raka Raka, the Philippou brothers, that did Talk to Me a couple of years ago. First off, no, this is not the sequel to Talk to Me, which is creatively titled Talk to Me and releasing supposedly later this year. This film, Bring Her Back, is completely unconnected. Kind of. It is set in the same universe and was written at the same time as Talk to Me, so that's something. And there is one direct shout out in the film with one character saying, "No, don't talk to her, talk to me," which was a little on the nose, especially in the serious scene the line was put in, so okay. Thought I would mention that since I saw some people getting confused when talking about this movie. So we'll see Talk to Me probably later this year. It's scheduled to release then, but we don't have any other info. But other than that, there are no other details I could find about it. Okay, are we all cleared up? Good, let's move on. Bring Her Back is another entry into the grief horror type of genre, where the emotions are high and used to be the backing point to the whole story. And while Bring Her Back has some amazing emotion, some ridiculously strong acting, and some truly disturbing gore and wild makeup, and some really cool representation as well with a real vision impaired actress, the story is more than a little lackluster, unfortunately. This film is way more abstract than Talk to Me and feels much more like a first movie syndrome than Talk to Me did, but this film is its own thing, so let me explain. What is Bring Her Back even about? Bring Her Back follows step-siblings Andy and Piper after the sudden and traumatic death of their only guardian, their father. When they are sent to live with an eccentric foster mother, they start to discover that the woman might have some kind of sinister, possibly satanic, plan for the two and her also strange other foster kid who's mute named Ollie. Right off the bat, I want to gush about the acting here. That and the makeup and gore effects are next level good, some of the best I've seen in small budget films like this. Most of that is due to the lead role of the eccentric foster mother Laura, played by Sally Hawkins. Oh my god. She is amazing in this role. She really toes the line in being wacky but lovable crazy lady to exhausted, obsessed weirdo, and then even further to a grieving and desperate mother. Someone give this lady more awards. She is acting her ass off here. The last thing I saw that she was in was Shape of Water back in 2017, and she is still knocking it out of the park. I do wish we got to see more of her backstory here for reasons I'll get into later, but just know that she is astounding. Really, really great work. Movie would have flopped without her. Also, I found this behind the scenes stuff where they did an interview talking about just how into character she got and supposedly wrote up a whole binder of character notes and script notes. And I just think that's really, really cool to see this woman just envelop the character so well. Next, we have our true main lead in Andy, played by Billy Barrett. Normally, these types of characters bother me. I mean, he's a teenage older brother in a horror movie who struggles to get his emotions across and is more than a little traumatized by things in his past and the death of his father. I mean, a lot of that just doesn't sound like it would really work. A lot of times these characters are either too aggressive or too unlikable, and I'm very happy that Barrett here does such a good job at making Andy really likable and fun to follow, even if he is traumatized to the point of violence or making dumb, obvious mistakes like giving a character who shouldn't have a knife. Come on. Still, his love for his sister Piper and the slow exploration that he has trying to figure out everything that's going on, it's really likable and really believable to an extent. I really enjoy it and how he portrays Andy's unique trauma, how he wants to avoid showers and things like that. I really enjoy it. Next, we have Piper, the vision-impaired girl played by Sora Wong in her debut role. It's really cool to have this representation in film, and it is on full display as well with just how active the one eye is. It is flying all over the place. It's not distracting though, and Wong does a great job of making Piper likable enough, but unfortunately she just isn't really given much to do, and the disability doesn't really affect the story much at all. There's no real reason for the character to be partially blind, she just kind of is. I do like it, but there's just no justification. That could have been explored a lot more and maybe had something a bit more unique with it, but oh well. Still, Wong does a good job. I just think she needed more to do here to really expand on her role. Maybe have a couple of more sibling scenes where they're talking to each other. We really don't get that much, surprisingly. We get like 2 or 3 and it's all in the first half of the film. Very strange. Finally, I really want to highlight the character of Ollie, or Oliver, played by Jonah Wren Phillips. Oh my god, the stuff this kid has to do in this movie and the makeup they have to apply to him is ridiculous. I cannot believe he sat through so much of that. Oh my god. Huge props to him because none of that could have been comfortable. And also, man, when he has to scream, oh, his screams are ear-splitting and heart-wrenching. Oh my god. I know he's still a kid, but that's the making of a Scream King right there. Holy hell. This is only his second film debut too, with his last movie being How to Make Gravy from 2024. He is a standout, even if he barely has any lines and just walks around looking creepy. And later in the movie with the stuff that happens, just it's wild what he has to do and how well it just works thanks to his performance. Really good work. Absolutely love it. Unfortunately though, that leads me into that not everything does work. Most of it does, don't get me wrong. The cinematography is wonderful, the acting is top notch, and the gore and the makeup is just, oh Jesus, it is really uncomfortable when it shows up. Like, this is incredibly hard to watch stuff. Squirm in your seat kind of uncomfortable. But that's fun. There's a lot of body trauma in this, especially with mouth stuff. So if you're not comfortable with that, just a heads up. They did a similar bit in Talk to Me with the face smash scene, which is also really good with the gore effects, but I feel like this film goes just a bit more wild and just more creative with it, I think, but all of that is a saving grace. So unfortunately, the story is not up to snuff. There are some things I do like about the story, such as with how there's an unexplained bond between the siblings, where they say the word grapefruit to each other in order to let the other know if they're lying or being real. I really like that, and how it shows how close the kids are without spelling it out for the audience. They can just have conversations where they mention grapefruit, and it eventually clicks with the audience realizing what's going on with that. I really like that. I think that's really cool, but other bits don't work. There's a whole thing about VHS tapes detailing rituals about possessions that are never explained, which is kind of like the hand from Talk to Me, how that's never explained, but still, whatever. Whole backstories are left up to interpretation with this. I still don't really know who Ollie is. They have one throwaway line about it and nothing else, which just feels a little lazy. And the pacing is so bumpy too. Sometimes it's really good and then it hits the gas and zooms off way too quickly. The biggest part of that is the first 5 to 10 minutes. Oh, that is rough. The film feels like it's on 2 times speed right at the start with just how fast it goes by before it finally starts to slow down once the kids get to Laura's house. I think maybe that's intentional to show how quickly time travels after the sudden death of a guardian and how the system needs to move fast to house the kids and whatnot. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I didn't like it. I thought it was handled very sloppily. Laura also desperately needs a backstory. We get glimpses here and there of her character before the events of this movie and how she acts then versus how she's acting now, but it never feels complete. It's like, oh, you get a glance of how it was, but then it's back into this. There's a whole side to Laura's character I feel the audience is missing that we really only get to see at the very, very end of the movie. I want to know everything before she fostered the kids in Ollie. I want to know about her past and her character before these events. I want to know what's up with the VHS tapes. I want to know why she's interested in all this. And you never get to see any of it outside of quick throwaway lines or poignant but extremely short moments between characters and her. It's really, really frustrating. When we left the theater, Fudge and I were talking, and he mentioned just what I was feeling and put it into words better than I could. That this movie feels like a sequel or a spin-off to a completely different film that did explore these characters more and their backstories. And I can't agree more with that. It's weird. It feels disjointed and connected to some other film that just doesn't exist. Why? Maybe we'll get a prequel going into that and we can expand it a bit more, but it's really hard to recommend a film when it feels like this. It feels like, oh, I missed a movie that was required watching, but that movie just doesn't exist. What? Ugh. I do like Bring Her Back, and I do feel like people will vibe with it well enough, but the story beats here are just confusing. This was directed by brother duo Michael and Danny Philippou, Raka Raka on YouTube, and written by Danny Philippou and Bill Hinsman, same as Talk to Me. I think the directing is fine. Really damn good, actually. Their energy is wild, but the writing is just a little whack here. I think maybe if the film was longer, by even as much as half an hour at most, it could have fixed some of the story issues I had. It's at an hour 40, but if they dived more into Laura or maybe the tapes backstories a bit more, it could have been closer to 2 hours, maybe 2 hour 15 minutes, and I'd be fine with that and give it a higher score. Honestly, shoot some backstory scenes and sprinkle it in throughout the film, I think that would be fine. I think it would work really well, but as it stands, I'm left a little bit in limbo here. I love a lot of what this film has going for it, but the hype and the story falls so much shorter than its potential could be. And I think the story is the most important part of a film. You can have fantastic acting, fantastic editing, some wild effects and gore and things like that, but if the story sucks, why would I bother watching? I do think this movie is a great addition to the new-ish grief horror genre, but it's just not as good as Talk to Me, and clearly had a lot more focus pulled away from it. Bring Her Back was written at the same time as Talk to Me, with the writers jumping between the projects, so that might have been an issue. Maybe if Bring Her Back just had a little bit more focus, it could have scored higher on my list here. Apparently it does take place in the same universe as Talk to Me, although they aren't related on screen at all, kind of like Peele's horror franchise universe, and I do like that. I like connected stories, and I do want to see so much more from this duo, so maybe we'll get more. The behind the scenes stuff that I could find looked like everyone had a good time, even the child actors who had to go through all of that trauma. Oh my god. That's great. And overall, I think this is a fun product for the effects and the acting alone. I do just wish the story was more concrete. It really, really needed some sort of expansion, and I hope Talk to Me does a better job with their story and backstory. Maybe they'll finally explain the hand thing. But with all that said, I do ultimately recommend this movie. Maybe not a go see it immediately. I think it's fine to wait till it's on streaming, but definitely go in knowing that not everything will be explained and to follow the emotions more than anything else, and you'll have a good time, I think. Like I said, it's difficult to follow here, so I don't know. Ultimately, Bring Her Back gets a 6 out of 10 from me. Hey guys, thanks for sticking around for another one. I was really looking forward to this one, and I left, I don't really want to say disappointed, but it was a much different movie than I was thinking it was going to be. I was kind of thinking it'd be similar to Talk to Me, and this is just a very different vibe entirely. I do like the grief horror. I think there's a lot to explore with grief and horror in general, but this movie just, I don't know, it really fails to hit the mark story-wise for me. Everything else, fantastic. I really love Sally Hawkins in this. Holy shit, I need her in more horror movies, playing characters like these and just putting in not only like an eccentric spin to it, but being more energized and having just a shit ton of emotions dumped on her and onto the audience. I think that'd be really cool. I really like what she did here. I did really enjoy Shape of Water. Maybe I should rewatch that. It's been so long. But I don't know. Anyway, what did you guys think? Did you guys see this early? Are you going to see it next week? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below when you do see it, even though it's going to be a week from now. I don't know. It's Australian. Who knows? Anyway, let me know in the comments below. After that, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss a video. And yeah, that's it. Have a great day, and if you're not, have a better one. See ya.
I'm just a ghost in your stereo, the fading memory of a shipwreck in the undertow. You're just a lost soul alone, and I'm just a ghost in your stereo.